So I think most golfers will agree that they'd like to hit the ball further, and they appreciate one of the ways you do that is by swinging the club faster. But unfortunately, the quicker and quicker that golfers tend to swing, but they seem to hit the ball shorter and shorter, even though they swing quickly. But what if I told you by the end of today's video, you're going to actually be able to swing the club slower, but transfer the energy into the ball better and actually hit the ball further than ever by putting less speed into your golf swing? So let's have a look at the difference in those first two shots and show you what's caused the poor one, and most importantly, what you need to be working on in your golf swing, like I said, to swing slower, hit the ball further, and really get some good, crisp ball striking. So we can see there, opening shot, club speed 90 mile an hour, ball speed only 104, so smash factor of 1.15, low point slightly ahead of the golf ball, but definitely touched the ground first, club face 7 degrees open, path out to win 9 degrees, and a carry of 137.5 yards. So then we look at the second swing, club head speed down at 86 mile an hour, but ball speed jumping up to 117, smash up to 1.36, low point 4.3 inches ahead, club face dead square, slightly closed at 0.1 degrees, and the club 5 degrees from the inside, and all of a sudden the carry at 159 yards. So I'll always say that club head speed is important, but if you can't do what I'm talking about at the start of this lesson, the extra club head speed actually becomes a little irrelevant, and if anything, you probably get worse and worse. So if we're going to start getting more energy from the golf club into the golf ball, what are the things we need to do? So first of all, we need to strike the ball centrally in the club face. We need to produce less loft at impact. And we also need to make sure it's golf ball and then ground contact. So once you can put those three things together, it becomes much more simple. So what I'm going to say for most of you starting out, particularly if you're working through this video with me and you're on the range, is just take some speed out of your normal swing and see what happens. So I suspect what you'd see is a pretty similar shot to the first one, just the club head speed's down, ball speed is down, and you might strike the ball a little bit better just because you can find the middle of the club face. So I think for most golfers, if they take a little bit of speed out, there's a little bit more awareness as to what's going on. So once we know that you can be getting that relatively near the middle, and hopefully most of you are playing a golf club that you don't have to hit it absolutely flush, then what we need to do is make sure that that club face isn't wide open. Because when that club face is wide open, one, it's got more loft on it, and the only way you can deliver the club in order to get the ball towards the target is much more out to in, and it almost becomes like a little slicey shot, like a flop shot with whatever club you're using. So for me, 7-iron. And the danger then is the ball goes up more than forwards, and it doesn't matter how much energy you're putting in, the ball's going that way. So a great little thing for you to check is a little bit of takeaway, and then kind of top of the backswing and halfway down as to what the club face looks like. So I would imagine most of you, if you run through this with me, as you take the club back, you'll probably see that the face of the club is starting to look a little bit more towards the sky. At the top, the badge on your glove will be looking down towards the ground, and then halfway down, that club face will be looking more up to the sky. Now the danger is that club face is wide open, so that's where we start seeing that out to in, over the top movement, and it creates some real issues. So the first thing we need to do is improve that first part of the takeaway and kind of where we are here, and we're going to do it in a shorter swing to start with. So what we're going to feel is as you move the club away, you're going to keep the club face looking down towards the ball, down towards the ground, and feel that your knuckles, instead of being on top of the club shaft, are more underneath. So that club face will be in a very, very different position. And the first thing I want you to do is actually just some waist height swings, feeling like that, and see what the ball does initially. So undoubtedly, the ball will launch much, much lower, and And even though the strike wasn't great there, we can see club head speed 68 mile an hour, ball speed at 85, and the smash up to 1.24, and the low point nearly 5 inches ahead of the golf ball. Club face very, very closed. So the first key there is as that club face is in a stronger position, it's going to start producing less loft, and less loft means more ball speed. So we'll do one more kind of waist height swing, feeling like knuckles down, and then you can just turn out the way. Probably wasn't quite as good with that one. But we can see 70 mile an hour, club speed, 97 ball speed, smash at 1.38, smash is simply ball speed divided by club speed, low point nicely ahead, middle of the club face, and a carry of 125 yards. So if you look at that, even that tiny little swing at 70 mile an hour was nearly hitting the ball as far through the air as 90 mile an hour before. So hopefully, getting excited by this. So all we're going to do to put a little bit more speed in is now length of swing. So we're going to get those knuckles down. As we feel we're getting to the top, we want to feel that the badge on my glove is looking more to the sky. That'll be very exaggerated. And again, don't worry if you start hitting the ball a little left to begin with. We're over exaggerating this feeling. And if you hit some poor shots, you can blame me, because I'm asking you to do something quite exaggerated. So we're going to be kind of knuckles down, and then knuckles to the sky, full swing, but keeping a lot of my speed out of the swing. We can still see good strike, 83 mile an hour club speed, 114 ball speed, low point 4.4 inches ahead, club face 3 degrees closed, and 161 yards carry. And I made an important comment before about as long as when you're taking speed out, your awareness level improves. Well, if we make you more efficient, less speed at your end still means more distance. So we're going to do that again. Feel like I'm slow, but like I said, we're going to start getting centeredness of strike. We're going to be de-lofting the golf club with shaft lean, and then as a result of that, we're getting ball and then ground. So we're ticking all 3 boxes. So let's go one more. Nice full swing, feeling pretty slow. And that felt good. That felt really good. 84 mile an hour, just under club head speed. Ball speed at 117, so smash factor going up again. Low point 5.5 inches ahead, and again 161 yards carry. Now you can see there, that's over 20 yards extra, actually with 6 mile an hour less speed. So if you are one of those golfers who just says, do you know what, whatever your pickup is there, you're happy with that, and you feel very exaggerated, great. But if you're like me and you start getting a little bit greedy and you kind of go, well, what if I could still put 90 in and retain that feeling? I'd be very surprised if you can do it in 5 or 6 shots. But if you can, fantastic. So now I'm going to really focus on knuckles down, knuckles up, knuckles down, and just feel like I move the club a little quicker. Let's see what I can generate with this swing. So it felt okay. 87 mile an hour, 117 ball speed. Smash factor just dropped down a little bit, so we could see there, everything was pretty good, but I didn't get any extra distance. And I just wonder there whether that was the golf ball, because it just felt a good strike, but just felt a little bit slow off the face. Let's go one final one. Really nice and strong with that club face. Can get my body out the way to stop the ball going left. And off we go. Maybe just a tiny bit thin, but 89 mile an hour club speed, 124 ball speed, smash good at 1.4, 3.3 inches ahead, and 175 yards carry. So remember, you can take speed out of your swing and hit the ball further, because most golfers tell me they swing too quickly. I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. I think they try and hit the ball too hard, but work through the steps I've spoken about there. And by taking some speed out at your end, if we can improve strike, loft, and then contact of ball and then ground, you're going to learn how to swing slower, but hit the ball further.